Good stuff. And what's this guy's name?
Darius Mitchell, the hip hop Republican.
I like that.
Me,
That's smooth. That's smooth.
no matter what happens today, maybe we'll come across and you'll be like, that day 4 years ago or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Those moments. I like those moments.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Especially with you guys.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to hate you guys. But actually, I just got finished with all my shit from 20 years ago. So y'all my best friends. As long as y'all leave me alone, I'm going to leave y'all alone. You know what I mean? The only thing you're going to catch me doing is smoke a blunt every now and then. You know what I'm saying? That's all. So, you know, let's do it.
I need you with your flag.
Of course. This way. A little more this way. That's good. People always ask, where do you get your news from? Who? I get it from.
And
Like,
sir, oh sorry, sir, you don't need to bend down.
okay.
Exactly.
I know,
I
right?
want you to stand tall.
Back this way just a little. That's good. And you're gonna look at her, sir?
My name's Kia. This is Michelle. We're from DC. We work with the So I heard you
Oh, is that right?
put some pleasure and something and welcome everyone. Tell me a little bit about you being a Republican and your displeasure with your party.
Well, I'm Darius Mitchell. I'm the hip hop Republican. Don't tell too many people that it ain't too popular to be a black Republican these days. But I'm a Lincoln guy, Frederick Douglass. I like Lincoln and Frederick Douglass because they're self-made men who had failures. And Lincoln, everybody, Lincoln didn't free the slaves or Lincoln freed the slaves, but for Lincoln to get in the position he got to in 1860, he had just lost a Senate race to Stephen Douglas. The 7 debates in Illinois, each debate brought out 10,000 people. And Team of Rivals by Doris Kearns Goodwin. And Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, he was a slave and he had to wrestle his slave handler and escape. Ended up in New Bedford, Massachusetts, where I live at.
I don't really have time for the history.
I know.
But I just wanted to know about here and now.
Here and now, to 2020, country's divided, COVID-19, we have a crazy president. We have a not desirable Democratic Party representative, nominee. And there's so many things going on in 2020. We need other voices at the table besides the hand-picked people from the White House. And a lot of the primaries, the president canceled. So people didn't even get a chance to vote. South Carolina, Virginia, Kansas, Alaska, Hawaii. A lot of these states didn't vote. So their delegates weren't even picked by voters. Their delegates were picked by their party chairs, which were picked by the president. And it's really, I would like to nominate some Republican nomination, or at least a chance to compete for it. I've been all over the country. I went to the NAACP convention. I went to the Young Republican convention in Omaha, Delaware, 4th of July. I was just in New York, and people are suspicious about the direction of the country, suspicious of other Americans, suspicious of the flag. And it's like, the problem is we don't have a leader in the White House that thinks beyond money, that thinks beyond his business interests, that thinks beyond his re-election. So really, like in New England where I live in Mass, there's one Republican member of Congress in New England, and that's Susan Collins in 2020. And they're not Republicans are not competing in urban areas, the Hartfords, the Bostons, the Providences, the Dover, Delawares, the Wilmington, Delawares, the Philadelphia, and it's hurting the nation. It's hurting American people, young people, because a lot of these communities have Democratic representatives for 20, 30 years. Atlanta, Lewis, Baltimore, coming. And we need a diversity of ideals. We need a diversity of debate. And for that to come about, the Republican Party has to expand. And their parties have to become more than just old white people. I love old white people, but there's Asians, there's African Americans, there's Africans, there's Spanish, Hispanics, and their issues aren't they hate Trump or they're Democrats. We have issues in the country: gun violence, St. Louis, New York, Chicago, Boston, everywhere, every urban city, because we have all Democratic policies. And even this year, we don't have any Republican people on the ballot. So I don't have anything against the delegates, but I was kind of like heckling them, letting them know that their way is not the way of the future, and their way, they know there's problems with the way, but they're at the West and they're hanging out, chilling with their suits and their ties. But there are a lot of people in America who wouldn't mind voting Republican, but Republican's not structured right now to welcome. I've had great success as a Republican the last 4 years. Cleveland, it was a good time. I was a U.S. Senate candidate in Massachusetts, spoke at the Massachusetts Republican Convention 2018 in Worcester, DCU. It was awesome. I was so cool. I was so broke. Dragged myself in there and ended up with a standing ovation. I didn't make the ballot or anything, but I felt the energy. And right now, Massachusetts really doesn't have a U.S. Senate candidate, and the focus is on Joe Kennedy and the incumbent Ed Markey. Ed Markey has been in Washington, D.C. since 1978 in Congress, and now he's running as an incumbent against Joe Kennedy, one of the Kennedy heirs.
Can I interrupt you to ask you what the Republican Party needs to do to be more inclusive to other diverse backgrounds?
Of course, we need to put candidates on the ballot. Places like, the young lady in Baltimore is making a splash. She had a great commercial. Kim, I believe her name is. There should be a Republican on the ballot in Massachusetts, a diverse Republican for U.S. Senate.
What does the party need to do to encourage and cultivate?
Drag your communities. There's people in Dover, Delaware, that people, African Americans, people respect. Drag, train, convince them to run as Republicans for Congress, to run as U.S. Senator, to run for the State House. Every State House in New England is a Democratic State House. There's 6.
Do you think that the leader at the top is a drag going down ticket candidates?
But he's a drag on Republicans, yes, in some ways, because he's an entrepreneur and he's in business, and a lot of Americans want that freedom. Entrepreneur, have your own business, your own house, your kids working for you. But then he has his way he treats people and treats other countries like Cuba, Iran. That's what we don't like. But we don't want somebody who's been in Washington, D.C. for 47 years, for 50 years, living off the government tip. We want people who have worked their way up, who have a story, the Henry Ford, the Walt Disney, the Tyler Perry, Obama, Reagan.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you've given me so much. I've got to listen to all your insightful words, but I appreciate your time and your diligence and your commitment to come out and serve.
USA. God bless everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you. You here all week?
just till Tuesday.